In the last class, you have learned about the multiplication of vectors by real numbers. So, in this class, before going to the addition and subtraction of vectors concept, let us learn few basic things that comes under this chapters. So, that is, first is difference between scalars and vectors. So in last class we learned what is scalar and what is vector. So there we didn't learn what is the difference between scalar and vector. So let us try to learn the difference between scalar and vector in this class. So the first here is scalar, vector. So scalar quantities are specified by magnitude only. So if you have scalar, then what the scalar says, this scalar tell the magnitude of that physical quantity. It never describes the direction of the physical quantity. Whereas vectors next point is scalar quantities change with change in magnitude only. Scalar quantities so whereas the vector quantities can either change with change in magnitude or with the change in direction. So vector quantities change either with change in magnitude or with change in direction. So now the next point in scalar is scalar quantities with same units can be added or subtracted according to the ordinary rules of algebra. So these rules you will learn in the coming section, but keep in mind scalar quantities with same units can be added or subtracted. So while addition or subtraction you have to use some rules which I will discuss in the coming sections. So in vector quantities cannot be added or subtracted algebraically. So if you have a vector quantity, then you can directly add, you cannot directly add or subtract this vector quantities. Now this scalar quantities, for the representation of scalar you can use any ordinary letters. And for vectors, what you will do? You will give an arrow mark on the letter. So for example, how do you denote vectors? So vectors can be denoted like this. So either you denote by the bold letter or by an arrow mark on the letter. So scalars can be represented with normal letters, say for example M. So here are the difference between the scalars and vectors. So scalar is a quantity which gives only magnitude, and vector is a quantity which gives both magnitude and direction. So scalar quantities change with change in magnitude only. So if you change the magnitude of any physical quantity, then the scalar quantity will change. So to change the vector quantity, you need to either change the magnitude or the direction. Now, if you have one or more scalar quantities, you can add or subtract them by using ordinary algebra rules. But if you have vector quantities, then you cannot normal algebra to add or subtract them. So the representation of scalars and vectors, scalars can be represented by normal ordinary letters, whereas vectors, you need to use the arrow mark on top of the vector, or you have to write it in a bold manner. So these are the difference between scalars and vectors. Now let us try to learn a few definitions on this chapter vectors. So very basic definitions. So these are basic as well as important definitions. So in the last class we have learned equality of vectors. So let us start with that. So you have basically 6 definitions here. So the first is equal vectors. So when do you say two vectors are equal? So if you have watched the earlier videos, then you can easily tell when two vectors can be said as equal vectors. So let me write the definition here. Two vectors are said to be equal if they have equal magnitude and same direction. So equal vectors can be defined as two vectors are said to be equal vectors if they have same or equal magnitude and same direction. So then you can call them as a equal vectors. So let's say example. So there is a vector A and vector B. So these two vectors which are shown here are equal vectors because they have the same magnitude and same direction. So here I can represent them as A equals B. So this is for equal vectors. The example for equal vector or equal vectors would be the displacements of two boys running in same direction and covers equal distance in equal intervals of time. So this is the example for equal vector. So what you are having is the displacement of two boys. Let's suppose two boys are running. So they are running in the same direction. Now what have to be equal? So they have to cover equal distance in equal intervals of time. Then only the vectors of these two boys can be said as equal vectors. So now there is a note. So that says angle between equal vectors is 0 degree. So if you see, the equal vectors are denoted like this. Let's say this as vector A and vector B. So the angle between these two vectors is 0. So these vectors are known as equal vectors. Now let us move to the another definition. So this is for negative vectors. So when two vectors are said to be negative, so two vectors are said to be negative if they have equal magnitudes. So let me draw here. So they have equal magnitudes but they are opposite in direction. So these are known as negative vectors. So these are two negative vectors. So the denotation, or how do we denote negative vectors is, so let's suppose this is a vector A and this is vector B. So these two can be denoted as vector A is equals to vector B in magnitude, but the direction of B is opposite to the direction of A. So I give here negative. So A equals to B but in opposite direction. So this is the negative vectors. So the example is similar to the first example which I have given, but here the two boys will run in opposite direction. Now you have two boys, so they are running in opposite direction. So the boy B is running opposite in direction to the boy A. So these two boys are covering equal magnitude. So the length of the vector gives what? That gives the magnitude of the vector. So these two boys are covering equal magnitude but their direction is opposite to the direction of the other person. So these two are negative vectors. So now angle between negative vectors is what? 180 degree. So if you see from the figure, the angle between these two vectors is 180 degree. Now let us move to the third point or third definition, collinear vectors. So if you have two vectors, but if they have the same direction, then those kind of vectors are known as collinear vectors. So let's suppose you have a vector A and vector B. So these two vectors are collinear because they have the same direction, but the magnitude of vectors are not equal. But in the second case, you can also have the two vectors with same magnitude and same direction as well. So AB are also known as collinear vectors. So you can also draw like this, A, B. So the definition is the vectors having equal or unequal magnitudes but drawn in the same direction. So such kind of vectors are known as collinear vectors. So here A and B are collinear vectors. So now the example for collinear vector is, so this is again similar to the definition or the example of the negative vectors. So here the displacement of two boys running one after the other. So the first boy runs, and after the first boy the second boy runs. So the displacement of two boys running one after other in the same direction but may or may not So you have two boys which are running one after the other, but these two boys have the same direction, but they may or may not cover equal distances in equal intervals of times. So this is the example for collinear vectors. So collinear vectors can be denoted as like this or like this. So A and B are two vectors having the same direction but with equal or unequal magnitude. Such kind of vectors are known as collinear vectors. So now the angle between collinear vectors will be again what? 0 degree. So the angle between two collinear vectors is 0 degree. So now let us understand the fourth important definition, coinitial vector. So now the vectors having common initial point are known as coinitial vectors. Let's suppose you have vector A, vector B, vector C and vector D. So all these four vectors have the same common initial point. So such kind of vectors are known as co-initial vectors. So this is vector A, vector B, vector C and vector D. So all these four vectors are known as what? Co-initial vectors. So the example would be the displacement of two balls after they strike each other. So this is the example. So co-initial vectors are what? The vectors having the common initial point. So this is vector A, vector B, vector C and vector D. So all these four vectors have the same initial point. So hence they are known as co-initial vectors. So example is given here. So what is the example? The displacement of two balls after they strike each other. This is co-initial vector. So now next let us see what is unit vector. So unit vector is a vector of unit magnitude. So these vectors will have unit magnitude and whose direction is same as that of the given vector. So such kind of vectors are known as unit vectors. So they will have the unit magnitude and their direction will be same as the given vectors. Consider you have a vector A. So this vector can be written as vector is equals to magnitude of vector multiplied by direction of vector. So vector can basically written as the magnitude of vector and the direction of vectors. So vector A is equals to magnitude of A multiplied by the direction. So here A is read as the cap or A cap. A is the unit vector drawn in the direction of vector A. So A cap is the unit vector which is drawn in the direction of A. So this symbol here can be read as cap. So A cap. So now how can you write A cap? A cap will be what? Vector A divided by magnitude of vector A. So A cap is equals to vector divided by magnitude of vector. So this is the unit vector. So this can be read as A cap. So now next, sixth definition is orthogonal unit vectors. What are these? So now consider the rectangular coordinate system. So you have the rectangular coordinate system x, y, z. X, y, z. So this is the origin of the rectangular coordinate system. So here you have the unit vectors along the x-axis and unit vector along the y-axis and unit vector along the z-axis. So these unit vectors are represented as I cap, j cap and k cap. So I cap is the unit vector along the x-axis, j cap is the unit vector along the y-axis, k cap is the unit vector along the z-axis. So you have three unit vectors which are mutually perpendicular to each other. Hence, these are known as orthogonal unit vectors. So these are unit vectors and they are mutually perpendicular to each other. Hence, they are known as orthogonal unit vectors. So, here unit vectors I, j, k represent the direction of vector along the x, y and z axis. So, if you have a vector along the x axis, I cap denotes the direction of the vector along x axis. So, these are known as orthogonal unit vectors. So here I have written the definition of orthogonal unit vectors. So unit vectors along x-axis, y-axis and z-axis are I cap, j cap and k cap respectively. So unit vectors I, j, k are mutually perpendicular to each other and hence they are known as orthogonal. The angle between x and y-axis is 90 degree and the angle between I cap and j cap is again 90 degree. Angle between I cap and k cap is 90 degree. Angle between j cap and k cap is 90 degree. Hence these are mutually perpendicular to each other and they are known as orthogonal unit vectors. So unit vectors I cap, j cap and k cap represent the direction of vectors along x axis, y axis and z axis respectively. So these vectors gives what? Gives the direction of vector along the x-axis. So there is a vector A which is along the x-axis. So this vector can be written as, so vector A is equals to magnitude of vector A multiplied by I cap. Here we are multiplying with I cap, not with A cap. I cap here represents the unit vector along the x-axis. Now you have vector A which is along the y-axis. So this vector A can be written as vector A is equals to magnitude of vector A multiplied by j cap. J cap is again a unit vector along the y-axis. And at last you have the unit vector A along the z-axis and that can be denoted as vector A is equals to magnitude of vector A multiplied by k cap. So this is the orthogonal unit vectors. So in orthogonal unit vectors you will basically have the three vectors, unit vectors which are mutually perpendicular to each other and the direction of any vector along the x-axis can be denoted as or can be written as the magnitude of that vector multiplied by the unit vector. So this can be read as I cap, j cap and k cap. So all three vectors are unit vectors. So the last and the seventh definition is the coplanar vectors. So what are coplanars? The vectors lying in a same plane are known as coplanar vectors. So let us consider three mutually perpendicular vectors, vector x, vector y and vector z. So you have three mutually perpendicular vectors. So this is what x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. So this is vector x, vector y and vector z. So these three vectors are lying in the same plane and the coplanar vectors can be written as vectors lying in the same plane. So what you have done here, you have considered three mutually perpendicular vectors. So which are they? X vector, y vector and z vector. So these three vectors are mutually perpendicular. So angle between them is 90 degree and they are lying in the same plane and hence they can. So now if you draw the vector, so this can be written as vector z minus vector x. Now if you draw the vector here, this vector can be written as vector x minus vector y. And if you draw the another vector here, this will be what? Vector z minus vector y. So these three vectors z minus x, comma x minus y and z minus y vectors are known as coplanar vectors. So these three vectors are known as coplanar vectors. So to get the coplanar vectors, you need to have three vectors which are mutually perpendicular to each other. And if you write the resultant vector, so like z minus x, x minus y and z minus y, then they will give you the coplanar vectors. So these vectors lie in the same plane and hence they are known as coplanar vectors. So hope this 7 basic definition of the vectors are clear to you all. In the next section we will learn the addition and subtraction of vectors.